What's up everyone, it's James from Jeeping Adventure, and today we are going to be changing out my Serpentine belt because it's kind of old and I want to make sure that I don't have that kind of fly off or break on my way to Texas. So let's show you what you need before we get started. So we got our belt, breaker bar, and then we have some assorted tools. Alright, so the first step is going to be removing this air filter. Why? It's going to make it a lot easier to gain access. We could go from underneath, but for today we're going to just go ahead and remove this. I need to clean it anyways, and then we'll start from there. So to remove these for your air filter is a 10mm. Go ahead and remove them so you can get a little bit more room, make this job a lot easier. One. And two. So you'll notice that this hose right here is clamped on. All you have to do is just kind of pop that out. Very simple. Not difficult at all. And then we'll actually be taking the hose clamp off here and then here, and this should be out of the way. Alright, so the next thing is going to be taking this hose clamp off right here. Obviously it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little hose clamp, so we'll just be loosening that up. You don't have to do it with a flathead, you can just do it with a bolt. I just had a flathead that was accessible, so figured I'd just go ahead and use that. Sometimes it's a little faster than trying to find what size these things are, since it seems like every hose clamp's a different size. Alright, so we got it off. And don't forget to remove this sensor before you yank the whole thing out, because that would... Alright, just so you can see what I did, I flipped that up here out of the way, and then I gained access down here. As you can tell, you can see my belt and everything like that down here. Very nice. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and loosen this up and take it off. It is split, so I'm glad that I'm getting this done, because I don't want that to be flying off, breaking on the highway trip. That would really suck, get stranded in the middle of nowhere. So to loosen it, you're gonna need to put a breaker bar right in here. It's 1/2 inch. And it's gonna compress a shock. It's right here. It's a hydraulic tensioner. So that shock down there is gonna get compressed, which will then let you take the actual belt off. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done now. Alright, so I cut the belt just to get it out after loosening it up, just make it a little bit easier. But this was completely split. The entire belt was completely split. In fact, I think the only section that wasn't was right here. There you go. It's the only section that's not split. Everything else, the whole entire belt was split. So I'm glad I ended up changing this out, because that would be terrible to have on the highway, being stuck in the middle of nowhere because the belt broke. But we got it installed for the most part. Just gonna go get somebody to help me get this last little bit on. So I'm gonna loosen up this right here so you can kind of see it happen. You just push, pressure, 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 hold it, and this shock will come down. Let's put it back so you can see that move right there. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that so we can get the last bit of the belt on and we'll be good. Alright, so I found that it was easier to remove the alternator. So taking off a bolt here, there's another bolt same size there, and two actually that are underneath here. I can't remember what size they were. I know one of them was a 15, I think the other one was like a 17 or a 16, something like that. And then there's you know, the two underneath, one's smaller and then one's bigger. But yeah, so I took that off, fed the belt up through, made sure everything's where it needs to be, and then I used my breaker bar and was able to do this by myself. So I put my breaker bar in, pulled it towards me, and then fed this over while I kind of put the bolts back in, or the bolts were kind of already back in, and then I just pulled this over, and that was it. So I was able to do it just one person, which is really convenient because you don't have to have that second person just in case you don't have someone laying around. But yeah, so I'm just putting it back together now. Got the air intake, sorry, I'm out of breath. Air intake back, and then coolant hose, just putting these 2 bolts in, and then gonna be running it real quick, make sure everything works. But yeah, if someone wants to come and clean this up, I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time here soon cleaning this engine bay because it needs some love. Well, of course, my luck, put everything back together and the belt works great, so that's good, but I busted a heater hose, so I had to run up to the store and get one of these hoses, which if you're following me on Instagram, I had to get my daily started again. It used to be my daily, it hasn't been anymore, the Jeep has been, so the battery was dead. So I had to do that, which of course, you know, it's this is how all projects are, aren't they? You know, you start one way and then a million other things happen. But we're gonna get this heater hose put in there real quick and test it again. Hopefully everything will work. All right, got the hose in, started up, and it's running good now. No more leaks, the belt's good. So it's gonna be on to the next project. I don't know what that's gonna be. Maybe a coolant flush. Let's see, I gotta do the oil and diff and stuff like that. So just getting ready for that trip to Texas. And then we're gonna be doing a lot of wheeling coming up springtime and summer. So make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, scroll down and check those other videos out. Got a lot of them up now, so there's a couple good ones. But yeah, keep the adventure going.